Hi everyone, my name is Jason Nackler. I thought I'd share my story with you today. I've heard by many people it's quite inspirational, so hopefully it might help some of you guys out there. So first of all, I was born with albinism, which is a condition that I have, which means I have no pigmentation. Also that I'm legally blind, so my sight is 6/60, so it's obviously very poor vision, which means I can't drive and do a lot of normal things. When I was a teenager, I was also diagnosed with Schumann's disease, which is a curvature of the spine, and that caused a lot of problems down the track. So I'm supposed to have back surgery and neck surgery, so a canal stenosis procedure on my neck for 5 discs, so C3 to C7. And I've obviously got some degeneration, fused back, had prolapsed discs. I was actually told I'd never be able to train again, and for 3 years I was out of work. I was physically taped up by the physios, had a collar around my neck and wearing these things around my wrists and fingers to stop the pins and needles. I was getting a lot of nerve pain shooting right through. It's pretty much in pain 24/7. You know, hearing the news that I'd never be able to train again was quite hard to take. But anyway, so I went and tried any and everything, all different procedures and treatments. Started to get a little bit better, was starting to do a bit of yoga. Did that for about 3 months, but then the allure of the gym was too much, so I wanted to get back into it. I struggled in the beginning, so I'd be lifting 1 and 2 kilo dumbbells, and I would actually get severe nerve pain. I'd be sore for a week, so not in a good way. I'd try again the next week, tried it the 3rd week, kept doing the same, and I was starting to think the specialists were right. Maybe I'm never going to be able to train again. But then I didn't give up, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna change the exercises for me. So I might change the angle or the range. It might use momentum, just find different ways that were gonna suit me. So I ended up doing that. It took me a while just to get to the point where I could go to the gym 3 times a week. And so eventually we got there. Funny enough, I became a personal trainer. And then from there I had a female client who actually wanted to compete. But because I practice what I preach, I told her I've never even seen a bodybuilding show, had no idea what they do. So I said, we made a deal together, and I said, I'd do 1 show, see what I can learn from it, and then she could do the next show. So I ended up winning 2 trophies my first show and slowly got hooked into it. So it was supposed to be a one-time deal, but I just kept going. The very first show I did was a Victorian title, and yeah, all my shows, I've just done big shows. Since those days, I've actually become multiple Victorian champion with pretty much all the federations. Also became IPB Australian lightweight champion, which was pretty cool. What people won't realise is that 2020 was quite bad for me. Not being able to train for 8 months actually set my body back big time, and I started getting all the nerve pain that I used to get, which was a big slap in the face for me because I thought I was actually at a much better stage. So that was a rude thing. Even leading up to the Australian title, about 6 months before my comp prep, I actually couldn't walk and I was in a lot of pain, shooting down my leg. I ended up getting like cortisones, epidurals, 2 lots of those. They still weren't helping, all different treatments again. And then slowly started to get a bit better. Started to see guys like Andrew Locke, who's literally probably the best exercise physiologist in Australia, and was working with him just to get functional again and to be able to just walk and do normal things. My missus, for 6 months, I had to put my socks and shoes on for me, so I couldn't even dress myself. Just gargling, tilting my head up, just anything would trigger the pain. So I was pretty much in pain 24/7, even when I was sleeping. So I had to have like a special pillow with Velcro between my legs as well, try and minimize that pain when I was in bed. So yeah, it was a slow struggle, but then I started to get a little bit better. And then I was actually good friends with the pro bodybuilder, Josh Lewanowitz, and I'd actually go down and train at his house. I wanted to compete, and again, it was kind of a funny story because a lot of people don't know when I was posting, but I had a lot of trouble walking. And Josh would actually have to help me if I was doing a bench press, or incline press, because I couldn't do flat because of my back, and I couldn't lift my leg up at all to kick dumbbells up. So he'd actually physically help me get on the bench, get off the bench. He'd pass the dumbbell into my hand, and I think we got up to pretty decent weight, like even on incline, I think we got up to 70 kilo dumbbells. So There was another funny story where I was doing a leg press. It's like 400 kilos on there with triple drop set with 5 negatives in there. People are like, wow, how'd you do that? Like, you know, must have needed a wheelchair. But what people didn't realize even then, but again, he had to physically help me get in the leg press and help me get out. I think Josh obviously started respecting me more as he got to know my work ethic and how much pain I was going through, and I still wouldn't give up, and I kept trying. And even leading up to the show and posing and twisting was actually causing me a lot of pain, which people probably don't realize. When I did win my Australian title, which was my first one, I did get quite emotional. And I think it was just all the realization where I've had the last few years since 2020 been really bad for me physically and mentally, financially, and all that sort of stuff. I nearly didn't even make it to the show, couldn't afford to get down there. People had used our credit card fraudulently and were maxed out and couldn't get loans or anything like that. So nearly didn't even make it to the show. So even Tony Doherty helped me out as well, and a few other nice people helped support me. And obviously my missus has been incredible. She helps me with a lot of things. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to make it. But it was such an emotional thing. That win is so special for me, but also, like, you know, what it represented, what I went through. Obviously I want to get better. So I always think I just want to be better than yesterday, and I want to just keep improving. So I'm 47 now, but you know, I think things can get better, and I should be able to get better. It's not an easy thing because I've got to maintain and manage this pain constantly, because it's not things that are going to go away. So what a lot of people didn't realize, even with my comp prep, my sister-in-law actually burned her house down, and she had no insurance, so she had to live with us. It was really tough because she was diagnosed with severe schizophrenia. She was extremely suicidal, constantly angry, depressed, and usually when I'm in a comp prep, you know, you need to be in a good headspace. And I can't tell you how hard that was when you've got to constantly call ambulance and police, and there's a lot of friction and tension in the house. Yeah, it was just hard, and I couldn't go and pose because certain things, just when somebody's living in your house, changes a lot of dimensions as well. So I don't know how I made it, but we made it, and yeah, couldn't be happier. For me, what I went through at the time was not really a big deal, but just talking to a few close friends and family, everybody keeps telling me that I've really achieved a lot and under tough circumstances, and that my story is quite inspirational and it might help people out there. So that's why I'm sharing my story with you today. So I hope this helps, and good luck with your own journey, guys. Talk to you later.